Hello students, we are back again. Yes, this is the E-Class 2 of Financial Management elective paper of 5th semester BBA. Shall we recall what we have studied in the E-Class 1? If you don't remember, let us try. We have observed in the E-Class 1 the very important decision which the financial manager has to take, nothing but working capital management. In this respect, we have understood the current assets, current liabilities, the components of current assets and current liabilities, importantly, the concepts of working capital, net concept and gross concept, types of working capital, permanent working capital and temporary working capital, and what is the need for working capital in an organization. Then the very important concept, operating cycle, which is the continuing flow of cash to suppliers, to inventory, account receivables and back to cash. This is what we have discussed in the previous class. Now let us move on to the E-Class 2. We will proceed with adequacy of working capital. Why should the firm have an adequate level of working capital? And what are the problems associated with an excessive level of working capital? Then the dangers of inadequate level of working capital and how to arrive at an optimum investment in current assets. We shall start with now adequacy of working capital. A firm should ensure the sound working capital position in the organization because both excessive level of working capital as well as inadequate level of working capital are dangerous. Therefore, if the working capital position is not sound, the firm becomes weak and then it becomes very difficult for the firm to prosper in the future. Now we will discuss about the dangers of excessive working capital. Now students, you have to remember the various components of current assets and current liabilities which we have discussed in the E-Class 1. Hope you remember cash, inventory, receivables, right? Okay. Now if you are having excessive working capital, then what does it mean? It may mean that you have more cash. More cash is the idle fund. You are not investing it anywhere. Therefore, you are not earning any return. Similarly, if you have unnecessary accumulation of inventory, it could be in the form of raw material or it could be in the form of finished goods, then the cost increases. Why? Because there will be more mishandling and there could be theft and you have to maintain the quality and quantity of the inventory throughout the period till it is consumed or sold. Similarly, if you have more debtors, what it may signify? It may signify that you are adopting too liberal credit policy because of which you are experiencing slack collection period and which may lead to more incidents of bad debt. Of course, bad debt means loss, right? Similarly, with more of inventory in your hand, the employees may be carelessness about their work and there could be more mishandling as I said before, or there could be more wastage, and because of which the inefficiency may creep into the operations of the business. At the same time, the firm may be tempted to overtrade. Of course, overtrade may be new word for you. Overtrade means the firm increases its scale of operation irrespective of the sufficient cash resources. Therefore, without having sufficient cash resources, if you increase your production, it's likely that you may not be able to sell the goods because you do not have matching demand. This creates lot of problem within the organization. Therefore, the points which I have discussed just above, you can understand that there is an imbalance between liquidity and profitability if you have more of working capital than required in the organization. Therefore, having excessive working capital, you can ensure high liquidity, but profitability would be adversely affected. Now, let us try to understand the problems associated with an inadequate level of working capital. Okay, now you have to recall what are the components of working capital there. Current assets, importantly, cash, inventory, receivables, right? Now think that all these components are inadequate, they are insufficient in the organization. Then what happens? Firstly, if you do not have adequate working capital, then you cannot utilize the production capacity fully because there is a lack of working capital funds. Therefore, you may not be able to use 100% capacity, which will have consequences thereafter. At the same time, if you do not have sufficient cash resources, if the creditor avails you cash discount all of a sudden, you may not be able to avail the cash discount facilities because you don't have cash resources to pay. Right. At the same time, if you don't have the liquid funds, you will not be able to meet all the day-to-day expenses in time, and you also may fail to pay dividend to the shareholders. Right? And as a result of all this, if you do not have sufficient working capital, then you will not be able to honor all the short-term obligations. It could be the rent or it could be interest on the bank loan, and you know very well if you are not able to meet or honor all these short-term obligations, then the credit worthiness will be very low and you lose the reputation in the market. Therefore, with these two extreme cases, like the problems of excessive working capital and the problems associated with the inadequate level of working capital, we can understand that the firm should maintain an adequate level of working capital. Why? Just recall, the adequate level of working capital will enhance the goodwill position of the firm. The adequate level of working capital will enhance the liquidity position of the firm because the firm will be able to meet the obligations in time. It will enhance the goodwill because you are very prompt in meeting your obligations. At the same time, if your credit worthiness, if your financial standing is very good through your past record of making the payment continuously, regularly, then it becomes easy for you to obtain the loans in the future. At the same time, with the sufficient working capital, you will be making the regular payment to your creditor. Therefore, you can ensure the regular supply of raw material in the future as well. At the same time, if you have enough working capital, you can avail the cash discount, which we have seen already. All the crisis, it could be the earthquake, it could be theft, and suddenly there is something happening within the business, and there could be depression which you have not forecasted. And in these cases, if you have sufficient working capital, then you will be able to face the crisis with the very less stress. That is the advantage. Therefore, with all this, you will be able to ensure the smooth production and sales function throughout the year, and making the prompt payment to the employees, prompt payment to your investors, prompt payment to your creditors. All this will help you to build the confidence, image, and high morale of all those who are concerned within the organization. Now we shall see, students, how shall we arrive at optimum level of current assets? Because we have understood both a high level of current asset, low level of current assets are dangerous. Then how do we arrive at the optimum level of current asset? For that, we have to trade off. We have to strike the balance between the two costs. Which are those two costs? Those two costs are cost of liquidity and cost of illiquidity. What does cost of liquidity mean? Cost of liquidity refers to cost of holding excessive level of current assets. At the same time, cost of illiquidity means it is the cost of holding insufficient current assets. What do we mean by cost of holding excessive current assets? The students, we have already studied problems associated with the what? Excessive level of current assets, right? Therefore, if you have more cash, it is the idle fund. If you have more debtors, you are blocking up a fund. If you have more stock, at the same time you are blocking up of the fund. Okay, therefore, these are the costs which are involved. At the same time, if you have insufficient working capital, you have less cash, means you are not able to meet your obligations in time, right? If you have less debtors, it may impair your sales, because less debtors means you are not able to sell more on credit, right? Okay, that may impair your sales further. At the same time, if you have less stock, of course, it may affect your production adversely, right? Therefore, these are the two costs wherein you have to strike the balance. Now, let us see how shall we do it. Okay, just observe this figure, students. You will understand that there are curves, right? Okay, here. Okay, this is the optimum level of current assets and these are the cost. If you observe here, with the increase in the level of current assets, when you move in this direction, okay, cost of liquidity increases and cost of liquidity decreases, right? Therefore, cost of liquidity increases with the level of current assets and cost of illiquidity decreases with the current assets, right? Therefore, if you take the total cost, that is the cost of liquidity and cost of illiquidity, then where there is minimum cost, okay, that is nothing but the minimum of this total cost, that curve where it touches this optimum level of current assets, this is the optimum level of current assets. Therefore, optimum level of current assets should be arrived at by the financial manager, taking into account both the cost associated with having more current asset and the cost associated with having less current assets, arrive at that optimum level, and that has to be maintained in the organization. Therefore, that is the total curve, that is the minimum cost curve, where it reaches that x-axis, you find there is the optimum level of current assets. Okay. Now, students, here I am coming to the end of my E-class 2. I am taking little topics one by one, okay, in order to see that you are not burdened with too many technical things. Okay, your questions here: explain the problems associated with the excessive level of current assets, explain the problems associated with the inadequate level of current assets, and how do you arrive at optimum level of current assets. Thank you, students. We will wait for the next class.